Of someone that is as inspirational and as well known as Jack LaLanne is there's a lot of information out there about LaLanne. He's done so many things, and I'm going to get into that right now and show, different clips of him. Everything is, of course, linked in the description. So, here we go.
Jack LaLanne. We went to nearby Hollywood and watched as he received his star on the Walk of Fame on his 88th birthday. And then I got a chance for an early morning workout with Jack the next day.
Higher, come on, get him up, higher, get my hand. Get him. I started working out when I was 15 years old. And then I opened my first health spa, my first gym in 1931. I was still in high school. I had all the policemen and firemen working out there, the ones that couldn't pass the physical. So, there was no physical fitness people around then. So I had a gym in my backyard, and I had the policemen there, the fat guys and the skinny guys, and I'd get them in shape so they could pass tests for the fire department. And then in 1936, I had my first modern health club in the United States. I had glass showers and all chrome weights and all the equipment, gave personal supervision, nutritional guidance. See, nobody had that then. That was the first. On my 40th birthday, everybody says, when you're...
His personal touch to that gym and personal touch to being the personal trainer of everybody in that gym and even managing their diets and exercise plans, and as he said in previous interviews, switching them up every 30 days. This is the genius and the kind of personal touch that's lacking in gyms today, which is one of the reasons I think that people don't participate in gyms. They don't succeed when they go to the gym. 90% of people, whatever, I would assume 90%, that's not a real number, but most people that go to the gym, they don't stick with it, they don't do well, and that's because of the lack of the, as Jack LaLanne said, nutrition is queen, exercise is king, put them together, you got a kingdom. When you don't have everything dialed in, you're not going to have success at the gym. And that's one of the biggest problems is a lot of people, the gyms today, they kind of let you do your own thing with diet. And you can't really do that. You need somebody to help these people manage their diets, I think, is a big part of it.
I was professional Mr. American, all that's one best chest, best back, and Mr. American. And they say, well, you got muscles, you can't run, you can't swim, you can't do all...
Oh.
That was professional Mr. American, all that's one best chest, best back, and Mr. American. And they say, well, you got muscles, you can't run, you can't swim, you can't do all these stuff, muscle bound. So I put handcuffs on, and I jumped off from Alcatraz prison and swam over the mainland handcuffed on my 40th birthday. That made international publicity. Everybody, France and Germany, hey, some guy escaped from Alcatraz, because nobody ever escaped from Alcatraz, And they did. They got me up on the shore. After I finished, I'm in handcuffs, and this picture got over the whole world. Here, somebody's being escaped from Alcatraz. When I was in Long Beach, I towed 70 boats with 70 people in the boat. My feet and hands were tied 1.5 miles, Long Beach.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hands
Those
tied.
things are impossible. But so you know what? Anything in life is possible. This body, it knows nothing. This body, this is your slave. It works for you. It all comes from here, what the mind tells it. That's why physical condition is so important, to be able to get a body.
It's very important to understand the philosophy here. As I said, Jack LaLanne is the St. Paul to Paul Bragg's Jesus. He is spreading this gospel of good health. There's a lot of things, even like New England transcendentalism could be playing a role in this philosophy. A lot of this is really, really, really interesting stuff. This is a complete philosophy of fitness. And it's very important that people understand that. If you want success, you need a complete philosophy of fitness.
That's your slave. You treat this slave correctly, and it treats you well. To be able to do the things that your mind wants to do. If it's running or swimming or your sex life or whatever it is, it takes health and energy and vitality, and the only way you get that is using the body, right?
Absolutely.
Like I say, you don't get old from calendar years, you get old from inactivity. That's the killer, sitting around on your big fat butt and thinking what you used to do. The hell what you used to do, it's what you're doing now and what you're going to do.
Boy, you are an inspiration.
Perspiration.
Perspiration, inspiration, all the same, right?
If I ever hit you, you'd wear those shoes on the way back.
It doesn't take long for Jack to attract a crowd of admirers.
I'm a personal trainer because of you. I want you to know that.
I'm very flattered and honored. I'm
Again, this gentleman right here, this gentleman was brought to the world of personal training because of Jack LaLanne. Okay, so Jack LaLanne spread the gospel of good health to this gentleman. This gentleman then goes and spreads it to others.
to be humble.
So remember, LaLanne stated, you help one person and that person helps others. That's what he was all about. Now, as somebody that is a fan of Benito Mussolini, there was some technical difficulty there. I don't know exactly what happened, but as somebody who, has read, a lot of things on, the strength of a nation. I am a fan of Benito Mussolini. I am a fan of that type of political philosophy. It's important to understand that the collective, the nation, is made out of the individuals that make up that nation. A nation is only as strong as its weakest people. So, what's Jack LaLanne's thought? And this is the thing. Jack LaLanne is as much or more of a man of action than Oswald Mosley. The difference is, instead of playing in politics or playing in things like that, Jack LaLanne took it to the individual to empower the individual and to empower the republic by empowering the individual. So let's see what Jack has to say.
And here, you and I are exercising together. And this is what our enemies don't want to happen. They don't want us to be strong physically and mentally. They want us to decay. So if we are to have a stronger America and to really help this wonderful flag, Old Glory, to mean something, what we are doing here is really furthering the cause to help America to be number one amongst all the nations in the world and to really be head and shoulders above them. Don't you? I feel kind of proud that I'm exercising up here and getting right along with the President's physical fitness program here and cooperating. Don't you? All right.
Jack LaLanne was an inspiration to many, many millions, if not billions of people. Absolutely billions through the people he inspired that inspired others. One of the people he inspired was Arnold Schwarzenegger, who brought how many billions of people to the world of fitness. And let's see what Mr. Schwarzenegger has to say about Jack LaLanne.
Such a great family man, and of course such a great leader in fitness. But now, as you just heard earlier, that Jack is now in heaven. And of course, that is going to be very annoying for a lot of people up there. It's not going to be pretty because we know what is going to happen. I mean, he already has told St. Peter that the wake-up call is going to be 6 o'clock in the morning. And there will be push-ups done, thousands of push-ups. And then there will be the juice that poured out, and we'll drink some juices, and then there will be protein powders taken, and vitamins, and minerals, and all this, and stretching exercise. And all of those things will be going on, and the people are up there in a state of shock, because they were promised that when they're good, that they'll be brought to heaven, that they will be able to rest in peace. There will be no peace out there with Jack. There will be no resting. But of course, we all know Jack well enough. They don't know him, but we know well enough. And I, of course, when I've watched this guy over the years, I said to myself, I got to go and check out what his name means. Because LaLanne sounds kind of French, so I went to the French dictionary, and of course I found out that LaLanne means, do some push-ups, you lazy bastards. So I just translate it as the secretary, because I love studying kind of the origin of everything. But anyway, Jack, people thought that he just went on the TV show and did his show for 34 years, had the longest show, and promoted fitness and everything was dandy and fine. But the fact of the matter was he also faced a lot of resistance. There were people that doubted all the stuff that he was doing. You know, they thought that they even won. People that said, when you train with Chuck LaLanne, just remember that you can get heart problems, that you could go and become a narcissist, being in front of the mirrors all the time, and you could turn gay, and you even could reduce your sex drive. Of course, if that's true, how do they explain the fact that Charlie Sheen works out every day? I mean, so of course the stereotypes are all nonsense, and we all know that, and now of course they found out that in fact, it helps your heart, it helps your cardiovascular system, that it helps your health and your fitness, and you don't get muscle bound. And now, of course, everywhere in the world there's a gymnasium. He had the first gymnasium, the first health club. Now, because of him, the health clubs everywhere, every hotel all over the world has a health club. Every YMCA, every university, every sports team, no matter what sport you do. Every high school, every military base, every fire station, every police station, it doesn't matter where you go, there is a health club. And it all started with Chuck LaLanne. So he was absolutely extraordinary. And I know that Elaine, you and him worked together on many of those kind of things. I think that he was so inspirational. If you just think about it, at the age of 41, just to give you some of the ideas of what he did, and a lot of you know already about those things, but at the age of 41 to go and swim across the San Francisco Bay, handcuffed. Now, I don't know what the handcuffs are all about, because everything that he has always done was in handcuffs. So when you come out, maybe you can explain it to the audience a little bit better. But the bottom line is then he goes and does 1,033 push-ups in 23 minutes on TV in front of an audience. I mean, when we know that most of us cannot even do 23 push-ups in 1,033 minutes. So this extraordinary feats of strength and of endurance that inspired the people, and then he never stopped. At the age of 70, he decided to go to tow 70 boats with 70 people in there, and to do that for an hour and a half at the Long Beach Harbor. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. And he worked out 2 hours a day into his 80s. He was giving seminars, doing exercises late into his 80s. And I remember that when he was 92, he was on a plane with me. And he said out of nowhere, when we went to a fitness event, he said, I feel a little stiff today. You know, he moved around all the time. He felt a little stiff, he said, I have to do some stretching if you don't mind. And then all of a sudden he grabs his thigh and lifts it straight up to the top of the airplane, touches the ceiling of the top of the airplane, and his knee was right up against his face. With the age of 92, sitting there casually on a chair. Of course, he didn't do that just for himself. He did it also to inspire us all, because that's what Chuck LaLanne was all about. He never did things for himself. He always did things for others. He wanted to inspire others. He wanted to train others. He wanted everyone to get involved in fitness and in health and taking vitamins and doing all of those kind of things. So I really appreciated it. And of course, he also with the juicer, I remember that when you and him started appearing there on television and inspiring us to get the juicer, because he was so excited about the fact of eating the vegetables. He knew that the general public would not eat all these pounds of carrots and celery and apples and all of this. So he developed the juicer. But not just a little juicer, but a monster juicer. And there he was, in the evening when I watched television, to throw in apples and oranges and salad and grass and carrots and ginger and tomatoes. I said, very soon he's going to throw in some rocks just to show that you can get the juice out of a rock. I mean, it was insane of how involved he was and how he inspired us all. And then, of course, his lines, let's be honest, those are the classic lines. I mean, the waistline is your lifeline. I love that line. And, of course, exercise is king, nutrition is queen, and together you have a kingdom. Those are the kind of things that he would say. Well, 10 seconds on the lips and a lifetime on your hips. Of course, that makes you think right away twice about eating something sweet. But he had that magic. I can't die, he said. I can't die because it will ruin my image. I mean, what a fantastic line. This, of course, are the things that went all over the media and all over the newspapers around the world. If a man makes it, don't eat it. Was another one of his classic lines. If it tastes good, spit it out. I mean, it's just wonderful who comes up with all of those things. Now, I, of course, have met Jacques LaLanne in 1968 when I came to America. He was one of the first people that I met. And I was very, very grateful that I was brought over to America by Joe Weider and by Betty Weider and Joe Weider are here in the audience somewhere. I've seen Betty, I haven't seen Joe yet. But because of them bringing me over here, I then got to meet Jacques LaLanne. And it was down on Venice Beach. And he came up and they started talking to me. He was very, very friendly. And he says, come on, let's work out together. It's so much fun. Boy, I regretted that. Because I said, oh yeah, and Franco was with me, I remember, and he said, okay, let's do chin-ups, and then we do some dips, and then we do some push-ups, then we do some leg raises, and then we go back and do chin-ups, and do some push-ups, and then we went around like that. Around for 30 minutes we did that without stopping, and then all of a sudden I got so pumped up I couldn't move anymore. And Jacques LaLanne, of course, said, come on boys, let's keep going, isn't that fun? Don't we have a great time? And he kept doing that for another hour, never stopped. That's why I said to Frank, I turned to him, I said, this guy is a machine. Little did I know that down the line I will be playing a machine, but he is a real machine. Jacques LaLanne is a real machine. I said, this guy is a monster. Look at that energy he has, the strength he has, he never stops. He just keeps going and going and going with the exercising. And the other thing that was so amazing was that he was so generous. When I became chairman of the President's Council of Fitness, I called him and I said, Jack,
what Schwarzenegger is going to talk about here is how Jacques LaLanne spent his life bringing people toward health through spreading the message of health, and how generous he was with his time. And it's important that we understand this, or that the public understands this, I should say. Jacques LaLanne was a great person, and as I said, again, the St. Paul to Paul Bragg's Jesus, spreading that gospel of good health.
I said, Jack, I need your help. He immediately jumped into action. Also, when I was with the Governor's Council of Fitness, he immediately jumped into action. And we traveled around the country promoting fitness. He said, you're going to carve it out. You're going to take care of the young people. I'm going to take care of the retired people, of taller people. And we're going to pump them all up. And so we crisscrossed the United States and were promoting health and fitness. So he was so generous, always with his time, and always, of course, was so humorous. So I loved him. And he has been such an extraordinary leader. We in the world have seen great leaders. We have seen the Martin Luther Kings. We have seen the Nelson Mandelas. We have seen what people like Gorbachev did, that had the guts to tear down communism after all of this years. Or Sergeant Schreiber, my father-in-law, who started the Peace Corps, the Job Corps, and all of this. Or Eunice Kennedy Shriver, who started Special Olympics. But let me tell you something. That's a kind of a leader that Jacques LaLanne was. He led and he inspired.
And that's the thing, I find it absolutely shameful that we have a Martin Luther King Day, but not a Jacques LaLanne Day. Okay? Jacques LaLanne has done far more for the public than Martin Luther King ever has. Jacques LaLanne is a true United States patriot, and he is somebody that should be honored. He is a great leader. I would say other leaders. I would say he's a leader like Benito Mussolini. Of course, Jacques LaLanne probably wouldn't like that very much, but, you know, Jacques LaLanne was a great leader of men, a great leader of people, and a great leader of a movement to turn people towards good health.
But let me tell you something. That's a kind of a leader that Jacques LaLanne was. He led and he inspired millions of people. And you know something, that in the Catholic Church, they have something where you can become a saint.
This is important. He's going to talk about canonization and how he believes Jacques LaLanne is a saint. And you know what? I tend to agree with him. I think another person that should be sainted is Eva Peron. But that's besides the point. I've already mentioned that in a video.
I don't know how much you're familiar with it, but it takes, I think, 3 miracles according to the Vatican. You have to document those miracles. Like, for instance, if you go and pray for someone that is about to pass away, and that person all of a sudden gets healthier, and all of a sudden the heart functions normally again, and the kidney comes back, and the person gets up and actually walks out of the hospital, that would be a miracle. Because of the prayer, you get that power over that person. And that's a miracle. There will be one. If you do 3 like that, you become a saint. But as you could see, that it means that first you have to become sick in the first place, and then take someone that has been sick or is about to die to help them and bring them back. But with Jack LaLanne, he made sure through his exercises and through his nutrition and insisting that you stay away from the bad foods. Can you imagine how many millions of people he saved from getting to the hospital in the first place or dying in the first place? So this is why I call him Saint. He is a saint of the kind of work that he has done. Because